If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe. With that being said, welcome back to another figure comparison. My name is Matthew, and today we're doing the first in-depth figure comparisons between the battle sets and originals of the GXK Playmates line. With this time, we have the Kong with Beast Glove figures. So, I want to make it aware that I am not comparing the whole set, and I'm merely comparing the original figure to what comes in the set. And I'm also reviewing my particular copy, so because of some, we'll say, inconsistencies from release to release, I might have a different one than something that you might find in a Walmart or Target. But with that being said, let's go straight right into it. So first things first, we're going to start with the head molds, which, as you can see, the heads are pretty much almost the exact same. We have the same base color of brown, which is then followed up with a lighter gray color for the skin tone, orange eyes that are both derped on the exact same way, although it is a bit worse on this one with the black pupils especially, and the same paint applications on the jaw here, and the same teeth application. The one thing that's really different overall is gonna definitely be this color variety that leads into the chest, and you can kind of see some like reds and yellows mixing together to make orange as well. So it definitely has a bit more like color variety, I'll say, versus this one where it looks more closer to movie accurate. So there's definitely that part of it as well. Next up, we're going to take a look at the chest, which is probably going to be the most noticeable change across both figures. And as you can see, we have one that has the scarring, one that has like a gray spray, and then obviously has the black, versus this one where they completely wash over the gray, sorry, the scarry paint, and almost all the gray paint. And it's kind of not helpful that it's not sculpted, it's painted, so you can't even tell that it's the three scars because they're not there. But what is there is some black spray, red paint for the pecs, and some yellow paint for where the man breasts are. So as you can see, it's pretty glossy and definitely gives it again a bit more of a color difference as far as like the repaints are concerned. Another big difference is going to be the overall quality of the paint itself, because I feel like this is really well applied. And even though this looks really well applied too, I feel like it could have been done a tad bit better, especially like the lining, because the black is mainly onto one side. But I mean, that's all right. Next, we're going to take a look at the Beast Glove arms on both figures. And as you can see, the Beast Glove on this one is standardly painted with the yellow and silver chrome highlights, especially on the gears and the plating. And of course features the standard logos for the Beast Glove itself, and it's all decked out in yellow. Same thing applies here, however, there's subtle gradations of yellow where it's from the chest, and of course the red paint is sprayed onto the more inside of the Beast Glove arm. Kind of like just a basic streak of it, but it's still got like subtle gradations of like red and yellow versus this one where it's just the yellow Beast Glove, where and also the wrists are definitely painted differently. This one has a much more gray format, and though this one does have that gray, it's mainly the red, which almost looks like it's all bloodied up. And again, I already did more of a review on this guy, but definitely kind of would have preferred a bit more subtlety with it. And the same thing can be said for the Kong's left arms here. As you can see, this one's just kind of basic with some gray spray, especially with all the fur detail that goes along with everything here. While this one has the exact same thing going on, except for more red paint. And again, it's like one, one big red streak. I did like a minor shove, and then there we go. But it definitely looks like Kong did not hold back on killing whoever was in his way. Because this red, again, I feel like is a very cool choice, but I just think that stylistically it's cool, but I would have preferred a little bit more subtlety to it. And as you can see, it's like all on one side, especially. Next up, we're going to take a look at the legs, which, as you can see, the original has basic scarring that isn't really painted, because it has some scarring right here, like slashing, and then it has the sprayed on feet. While this one also has the sprayed on feet and the scars, but the scar is painted, kind of. It's mainly like a spray, so it's definitely not subtle. And it also has a spray right here to kind of countermatch it. So it's definitely going for that illuminating effect if it wasn't already obvious enough. And honestly, that's kind of like where all the cool paint ends, because going to the back of both figures, it's so obvious that like they didn't even care on actually painting the backside. And even though I get it's probably just front facing, the lava in the film was like all around. So you think if they were doing it to one side, they would do it to all of them, right? And it's especially given that so obvious that you couldn't even tell the difference. The fact that I actually ended up switching both of the figures in the different shots. That was the color version, this one was not. So as you can see, when you look at them from the backside, you can't even tell which one's which. And now, of course, no one's really going to be posing their Kong towards the backside, but aside from the sculpted details, there's really not much to really talk about, like as far as paint and sculpted differences go. So really, as far as sheer sculpt and paint is concerned, the real differences between the two are they share the same sculpt and same base paint applications, but this one has the extension with yellow and red paint throughout his arms, legs, and chest, and a bit on his beard. That's it. Realistically, I kind of would have liked more, especially for an exclusive, but I mean, it's alright. You can at least tell which one's which. Next for articulation, which they're both the exact same mold, so they have the exact same posability. Head swivel, shoulder hinge, elbow swivel hinge. So you can kind of twist and turn around there. No swivel here at this arm because the Beast Glove locks everything into place and it would look weird with a cut. No waist swivel. We do get everything the same thing on the opposite side. Except this one actually has that wrist swivel. And you can also go forward, backward, and can swivel with the hips. Because it is a swivel hinge, of course. And, of course, hinge knees. There's nothing at the ankle. So, essentially, again, there's really no differences with the articulation. Literally nothing. Maybe stiffness, but that really depends on release to release. By that logic, the leg on this one and this one would be totally different game stories. So what about accessories? Are they any different? Nope. They both come with the same exact heave. I can tell which one's which because my little wings back here are slightly warped because they were enclosed box, while this one was open box, so they weren't as warped. I don't even think there's really any warping, but they are essentially pieces of chrome plastic rubber in the shape of the heaves that you see in the film. Very advanced, very futuristic. Kind of wish that they took the time. You know, I'm just realizing that would have been the perfect time to bring in a new paint variant for this thing because they went all out. Well, not really all out, but they did some pretty cool paint applications with Kong and Skar King, but this thing is known for changing color in the film, so they could have easily done something with that. So, definitely a missed opportunity. And how you attach it, never been easier. I personally like to go for the big prong back here, slide that into Kong's wrist, and boom, he's holding it. Granted, it's supposed to be a flying-based object, so he's not really meant to be holding it, but you can have it like maybe right to the side of Kong. Again, it's all your preference. And while it is true that this guy technically came with more accessories in the form of like cardboard cutouts, I was specifically counting this one because it's the only Kong exclusive accessory because it came with this one and it's intended for Kong. That and the Beast Glove can't come off, therefore it's not really an accessory, even though it's Kong with Beast Glove. It's mounted to his hand, so yeah. And I'm just gonna say, if you don't know how big these figures are, go on and watch my previous reviews because they're just basic 6-inch size Kongs. But with that being said, that's gonna have to do it for this figure comparison. Yeah, a little shallow this time. Yeah, essentially the only real big difference, if you strip away just the Kong and accessory, the only real difference is going to be the paint application. The articulation is the same, the sculpt is the same, the base paint is the same. Practically everything is the same. The only real two major differences are going to be the extended paint with the different colors and the price. Because this thing comes in a box exclusive Walmart set, this one does not. And even though I definitely like this figure and like this one, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that I kind of like him equally just because I like his cool paint applications, but I definitely think that they should have at least added some more towards the backside. Like, that's kind of not really all that great, especially with how much home runs they've been hitting with the GXK line. Like, I feel like that was a bit more of a missed opportunity. This has more missed opportunities than this one does, but at the end of the day, I think it all comes down to preference. Do you like more actual, more accurate film related things, like figures like this? Or do you like more stylistic, crazy paint apps like this? Really, it all comes down to you. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.